They're off. They race away on the right there. Torito is the slowest of the sextet to get going. The quickest away is Mr. Riz in the orange sleeves and goes through to lead. Gladius in the green running in second. The yellow of Liberty Lane is close to him. Damysus, a very broad white blaze in his 4 white socks, moves along powerfully in 4th place early on. There would be 2 or 3 lengths behind these to the all blue of First Conquest, and then the blue and gold of Torito, who was slightly awkward at the start, continues to be the back marker of the sextet as they're already approaching the final 3/4 of a mile. And bowling along in front is Mr. Riz and Kieran Schumacher from Cliffley on Liberty Lane in the yellow. Closer now is taken second. From Machine Murphy on Gladius in green colours. And then a red cap for James Doyle on Damysus shows in 4th place. 2 lengths behind him, First Conquest, William Buick. Horse looks flat out at the moment. And 2 lengths behind him, Torito. Gold sleeves and gold cap as well for Jamie Spencer, but they are now approaching the final 3 furlongs, and Mr. Riz continues to have the advantage. On the right is Gladius, far side on the left is Liberty Lane. Damysus, the red cap, is switched extreme left, and trying to come with him is First Conquest. Torito behind those, but way past the bushes at the 2 pole. It gets hard work now for Mr. Riz. Gladius in the green has come to join him. Damysus with the white face into challenge. Then Liberty Lane. First Conquest running on behind those at the furlong pole. The 2 market leaders together now, and it is Gladius in green, Damysus the red cap challenging. First Conquest is not far behind them in 3rd. Damysus is proving the stronger as they come to the line. Damysus wins over Gladius. First Conquest is narrowly 3rd over Liberty Lane.
James Doyle was on board Damysus, and they've both just run the Darley Stakes. That was nice. He's making up into showing the promise, building on the promise that he showed at the start of the season.
He is indeed. We lost him a bit in the derby. It was a bit of a mess. He got upset, and obviously that's been well documented. But the guys have done a good job getting him back. And yeah, he's a sweet horse. That was out of character what he did at Epsom that day. But as we know, that's a big test of a young horse. But I have to say he's faultless to deal with, and yeah, he's, like you say, he's fulfilling that promise that he once showed. And I've always said I've felt that he's probably a bit quicker than we've given him credit for in the past. So the last thing I was going to do is get off today and say we need to go back up and trip. But obviously we do. But I was glad that he had the speed that he did today. As we know, it's a slick test, a 1 and 1 here. And yeah, I felt we went okay sectionals. We didn't go crazy, but he had to be on the metal to make sure he kind of got the job done.
Do you think he could make an impact in Group 1 company next year?
Interesting. He's going to have to improve. There's no doubt about that. I'm hoping he can. And John does great. John and Thady do great with these types of horses, don't they? So there's no reason. I think there's every reason to be hopeful. I'd be hopeful rather than confident, but we'll see. We'll see. He's like I say, he's just a real willing horse who's nice to have in our stable.
And briefly, you looking forward to Wathan, first time in the Dewhurst?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. He on his second run, it was good, wasn't it? So he beat a couple of today's rivals. It didn't look like things worked out in the Champagne, soft ground, and he was a little bit lit up. So hopefully things can be a bit smoother today, and if he can bounce back to the Acomb run, it puts him thereabouts, doesn't it?
Very much so, yeah. Very best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Damysus has won the opening race here at Newmarket, the Group 3 Darley Stakes. He's trained by John and Team Gosden, and that is much more like the kind of horse we were seeing at the start of the season. Was it the Derby that was just that proved the challenge?
He got in the stalls and something set off beside him, and he lost it. He just tried to kick the back doors out and cut his legs nastily. And so he's in a little bit of trouble in the race. So it's been quite a long time patching him up before we could get him back. That was first Saturday in June, and we didn't get him back till August Deauville. But he's fine now. He won nicely in the Prix AF, and he did go last weekend to Paris, but they got all the rain, as you know, on the Sunday morning, so he didn't run in the Prix Dollar. Took him out of the race. He had quite a nice lunch and dinner in France, I think, and missed a work, came back, so he had to do a shorter piece of work now for this. So I think he'll come on for that race. It wasn't the ideal prep to go to France for a holiday in the middle of it.
And is that him for this season now?
I would have thought most likely. There is the Bahrain Trophy, which possibly he might get an invitation to. We'd have to see, but that could be a possibility. He's relatively fresh. I mean, he's had obviously 2 races since the Derby.
Is this the kind of horse that you and Thady could build up to being a Group 1 performer as a 4-year-old? Because I feel, and I'm sure you probably feel still, that there's quite a bit of untapped potential there.
Yeah, there is. I mean, but he's not a big horse. He's strong. He's not a big, tall Frankel or anything. But there's no reason a horse like this wouldn't reappear at Sandown in the mile and a quarter, the Gordon Richards, one of those races, Brigadier Gerard, and see if you want to go to Ascot with him. Yeah.
And what's your instinct with him? Could he operate at that level?
He's got a great constitution and a good mind, so that'll take you a long way in this game.
That's most of the battle, isn't it? Looking ahead to the big one today, Oxagon. Clearly his Champagne Stakes form has been franked by Puerto Rico. Is he a bit sort of tardy into stride still?
No, I think we probably rode him a little bit like let him find a rhythm and all of that. Right. Meanwhile, Puerto Rico had moved swiftly from the gate, travelled well, and then boom, took 4 lengths out the field, which is exactly what he did in the last weekend in the Group 1, the 2-year-old Group 1. He did it to the French, yeah. And he's an impressive horse when he does that. And I'm pleased to see the form franked. Yes, it means we belong in this race, definitely. But also, I think it's one of those where you could pick 4 or 5 very classy horses. Obviously, the first 2 from the National, then the horse who went and won here, the Tattersall's, the other day. I mean, it's a hell of a good lineup. It's a very, very good Dewhurst, and let's hope they all get a nice clean run and everyone's happy.
Different ground to Doncaster, obviously. Faster ground. Will that suit?
I think he'd be happy on it. Yeah, it's unusual to be here on genuine good to firm, good in places, and it looks like that's what we're going to get next weekend.
And finally, Archer Royal for the Autumn Stakes?
Yeah, he's ready to roll again. It might be a little bit above him at this stage, but there's only one way to find out, is to run him, and he's a big strapping horse for next year.
And have both of those horses since their last run, Archer Royal and the Somerville Tattersall and Oxagon since the Champagne, you've been pleased, everything's gone the right way?
They've gone the right way, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Well, sometimes these races can be tempting.
No, not if you're not feeling happy about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Very best of luck for the rest of today, and congratulations here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He remains quite a prospect, Damysus. He wins a Group 3 today, the Darley Stakes in the colours of Wathan Racing. For John and Thady Gosden and James Doyle, has outpointed market rival Gladius in what looks a strong and formful race after a protracted battle. Red cap James Doyle wins the day. Third is First Conquest, who's run another solid enough race, and at one point he just looked as though he might get on terms. Liberty Lane is in 4th, and Mr. Riz was further back. Torito ruined whatever chance he had by diving violently left-handed out of the stalls, but his owner mate, his stable mate in the first silts, Damysus, has won.
Yeah, and he's won like a good horse, I think. He's had to show a good attitude to see off another progressive rival in Gladius. The pace was solid. It was even, strong fractions through the middle of the race. 11.4, 11.3, 11.26, I think, was one that flashed up on the screen through the middle of the race. So even, solid fractions set by Mr. Riz. And I think it was a clean race. No excuses for any of the first 4 from what I could see on first viewing. And the winner has shown a good attitude, Nick, and needed to stay well. He does stay well. He's probably going to be a better horse going back up to 1.25 miles. And I think the future is really bright for him.
It's interesting because the runner-up ended up having marginally better track position despite having broken from further toward the far side, but he adopted a more prominent position, and James Doyle was content to draft in behind him and get a nice lead.
Yeah, he was, and he made his move a little bit more out through the centre of the track, didn't he, or a little bit more towards the centre than Mr. Riz and Gladius did, but doesn't look as if we're dealing with real biases and the like here at Newmarket at this particular meeting, so that's good for the big races to come. And
2 or 3 came from off the back yesterday, obviously, including Precise.
Yeah, they did. We've seen horses winning from everywhere, and it's a relatively, by Newmarket standards, it's not usually a still place, is it, with the wind, but it's relatively so.
No, the flag has dropped completely on the top of the grandstand.
Yeah, but no, I mean, the winner here, he was in a lovely position. If he was good enough, he was well positioned to strike. As you say, I think if anything, you could argue that Gladius has marginally had a slightly better position than him, and Damysus has still been good enough to overhaul him in the latter stages. I think we touched on the fact earlier that this would be bottom end of his trip requirements, the winner. So the fact that he's managed to beat another progressive rival, who is maybe more of a 9 furlong horse than the winner is, and he's managed to do that in determined fashion. He's shown a good attitude. I think he does want quick ground, but yeah, he's a horse going places, and I think he could be in the mix at least for some Group 1 races next season at 1.25 miles.
And the two jockeys involved in the finish here will be swapping trainers for the Dewhurst, because James Doyle will be taking the ride on Wathan, a nice spare he's picked up for Andrew Balding on the Epsom winner, because of Sheen Murphy, who rides for Andrew Balding here, will be riding for John and Thady Gosden in the silks of Prince Faisal, who has a retainer on him. He'll be riding Oxygen. Here we are from the drone.
And I think Liberty Lane and First Conquest, we said before the race that they were solid horses, likely to give the running, likely to run to their ratings at a track where they are both proven. Little reason really to think that's not the case. I think First Conquest will have a good time out in Dubai through the winter, and it could be a productive campaign out there for him. And
I think he might get a good bit further.
Yes,
First Conquest.
Yeah, I think that's entirely possible. He's by Teofilo as well, who gets a lot of more staying horses, doesn't he? And look, Liberty Lane, I mean, he's staying on really well in the latter stages, isn't he?
He's in front, 100 yards past the line, Liberty Lane. And Mr. Riz has actually boxed on fine.
He has. He just looked a little bit... He's got a bit warm, hasn't he, down at the start. He's quite exuberant with how he's gone through the race, and he doesn't look necessarily the most straightforward of horses, but he's run fine for a long way, and he's possibly, if anything, he might have overdone it a little bit on the front end, but
certainly capable of winning a listed race.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be that exuberance that holds him back a little bit, but he's got talent. And Torito, obviously, we've not seen much of him in recent times. He never really got in the race, did he?
Well, the winner has a fair bit of Riz of his own. He's a striking horse, easy to like, powerful as well. Hard not to think he won't come back and improve quite significantly when he comes out of winter quarters for a stable that are masterful at curating animals like this. They've got him back from that Derby disappointment to put together back-to-back victories, and I wonder what they'll have in mind for him in 2026. Damysus it is that takes the opening 2-darn hot Darley Stakes.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.